Alrighty. So, for those of you who don't know, I make YouTube videos about Beyond All Reason. So, I made a video about 1v1 economy, and I asked, what do y'all think? And we have Raz, which I don't know if that's his in-game name or not. I don't really have the best understanding of like all the top bar players because I'm a busy man, and so I'm busy doing life a lot of times. Anyway, so this guy leaves a comment on my video, and he says, "There's no such thing as 1v1 economy," which I actually disagree with that completely. Whoops, what happened here? No. There we go. Okay. So he said there's no such thing as 1v1 economy. I disagree with that completely because I've played plenty of 1v1s, and there is a significant difference in how you use your economy, how you scale, how you transition. You have to be very careful because as your front line is a lot more dangerous. Okay. So I instantly disagree with that. Every position on the map has different resources, and leads to different buildings and timings. Now, this concept here, what he's saying is he's basically saying you're acting like Durango or whatever his face is, the guy who made like a bunch of timing videos, which I don't really have a problem with those videos that much. I think a lot of the videos Durango made were very beneficial to Bar, but this guy is obviously a big hater of that. So that's where he's coming from there. He's basically just going over why I shouldn't say I need early grunts to protect the mexes. And we're going to give you guys an example of what's going on here. So this is the video that I made. We're not going to watch all of it. We're just going to watch a little bit. It's Jaws Munch here, and we are going to be doing a look at 1v1 economy. So 1v1s are a bit more challenging than your standard 8v8 because they're often on maps of a similar size to this map here. And you have a lot more ground that you have to cover. In a normal lane map, you'll generally have like one section that is your responsibility. So you'd have like lane 1, whoops, I drew 2 there. Anyway, lane 1, lane 2, and lane 3. Not very good at drawing on the computer. Anyway, and in 1v1s, this is your whole lane. So it's a little bit harder how the economy works because you have to cover a lot of ground and maintain control of a lot more than you would with your standard 3v3, 8v8 game. So that's what we're going to be looking at today. We're going to be trying to figure out anyway, so I just go through kind of the basic. We're not going to watch all of it. I'm just going to catch some highlights. So I end up having like just your standard opening and stuff, no big deal, talking about different things with it. And let's see if we can't get past to kind of the area where he had more issues. So I was talking about expansion here a bit, to have a decent amount of wind being produced and just keeping this grunt alongside our con. So when you do finish building your a couple metal extractors, you're going to want to get one light laser turret. Basically, you're going to want to play this more similarly as if you were playing against the AI, because AI would micro around and try to find every single metal extractor and try to snipe them. That's what's going to also be happening with your economy in a 1v1 situation. Now, I want to just clarify, this wasn't random. I did not randomly decide this was true. No, this was after watching a like 40-50 OS player. I played against him a couple games just to see how I would do in a 1v1, and I looked back at how he played the game, and this is exactly what he would do. He would, have a standard economy. He'd have one con going out, building mexes, then putting a laser tower there to defend, and then just doing that over and over again in key points. So it's not a weird thing that I'm talking about here. This is something I've observed from someone that I played against. That was, I think, 4th best 1v1 player in the world for Bar. So it's like, this was not random. Anyway, he's disagreeing with this whole concept here, which I thought was hilarious. Anyway, I start talking about how you have the risk of people coming in behind you and attacking your economy. He disagreed with that. I ended up building a light laser tower here just in case, and he disagreed with that. He thought that was a waste of resources. I'm like, dude, how is that a waste of resources? Like, everyone knows it's important to build light laser towers in your base. And it's even more so in a 1v1 because you have such little micro to share around. Anyway, so there's a whole bunch of like crazy things there. Anyway, I talked about the splitting up of how you have essentially 3 to 4 expansions. We'll go ahead and play through this. And you could have like 3 areas of expansion, another one going this way, taking these, and then coming over this way, taking these, and then heading up to this. And this will likely be a point of confrontation, right? They will already more than likely have this, so that will be theirs. And then you could also have a 3rd expansion coming out this direction, okay, and getting these mexes and then fighting over this one. So you have your 3 points of expansion that you need to recognize, and potentially sending at least 1 con in each direction. The more metal. So the person who said I need to stop making guides is Raz. And so we end up having like a big back and forth about it. And let's go ahead and look. And he says you can't make videos without about scaling economy and miss the most fundamental steps on the map, which is building the geo as soon as possible on CCR, which is the map. Is good to expand in 2 to 3 directions, but on that map, it's also about getting cheap, reliable energy. Again, this is not related to 1v1. Durango produced a lot of headless chicken players who have no idea how to play the game, as they followed his guides, which were only against 2 Chevron new players. When you have to play along those guys that are confident that they saw it on a guide, but you lose the game because of their stubbornness, to realize how bad they actually are, it is not positive to the community. So basically what he's saying is, what you are creating is like exactly what Durango was creating, and it is not positive to the community. I was like, oh my goodness, this guy. Anyway, so I just find this absolutely hilarious. Durango was like 38 OS. He was good enough for making guides, and he was just a greedy player. Yeah, there's nothing wrong with that, right? If you have some crazy ideas, you can make a video about the crazy idea. Just put like a disclaimer in it, right? That says, hey, this is a crazy idea, be warned, right? But to say just don't make videos because it isn't exactly how I want you to make it, it's like, bro, make your own video. Like, I don't understand. So anyway, I was just talking with him about how it is important that we make videos. The one thing I can safely say is that there's not enough Beyond All Reason guides. So yes, I will make guides about it because the community needs it. Some of my guides definitely have some things that are not right. I mean, that's with anyone. Any video that you produce is going to have issues with it. I mean, every video on YouTube has some problems with it. No one's perfect. All right. Some of the guides definitely have things that are not right, but it's not about getting everything perfect. For the high level player, is about getting most things correct for the low level player. And that's the purpose of the YouTube videos, is to help people get into bar, to help people begin to grow and expand in ways that maybe they hadn't thought about. You know, someone who just comes to RTS, they're going to need a lot of guidance to get all the way there, you know, to get their OS up. This is the only way our community will grow. This is one of the most useful ways for new players to feel they have a chance to improve in their gameplay. Making games, most games have guides that will walk you through concepts. My goal with these guides is always to just be a net positive for the players in the community who need a push in the right direction. And this guy, thankfully, was also on my side saying, yes, it was awesome. Your guides are great. So, yeah, I just find it hilarious that so many like higher OS, I almost guarantee this guy's a higher OS player. And he had some really good tips for me, even. Like, there were some things I didn't think about. He said, where was it? Base layout is important. Okay, obviously hugging your converters is bad. That's a time thing. My early start of the game, I usually hug a lot of converters and just different things close together. And that is a potential issue because it can explode. And so that was, reasonable, right? And then one thing he said, as a general rule, this is a big deal, actually. This is something I really thought was fantastic advice. He says, as a general rule, rows of windmills should be placed perpendicular to the direction in which the bombing may come. So, for example, let's see, when we get to rows of windmills here, probably around here. Okay, so you can see the windmills are right here facing up, forward to backward. What he's saying is if you place them left to right, then a bombing run can't destroy them as easily, which I thought was fantastic advice. So I don't disagree with everything he was saying. There were some things that I hadn't even thought of, and I thought were really good bits of advice. Anyway, so that's the drama. I don't know what you guys think on that side of things. I thought that it was a bit ridiculous, some of the expectations he had. But, everyone's entitled to their opinions, right? So, yeah, I guess I'm going to be ending my career in YouTube due to the fact that he didn't want me to make any more YouTube videos.